think it's tragic. Jim Jordan is a folk hero to the Republican Party.
Yeah, well, the Republican Congress just walked away from arguably the most popular Republican elected official in the country.
The most popular Republican in the United States Congress was just knifed by a secret ballot.
Unfortunately, Jim, there was a lot of baggage there.
You heard it. You heard it all there, right? Jim Jordan, a folk hero, one of the most popular Republicans in the country. Well, apparently not popular enough. Today, he failed to become the Speaker of the House again, after failing again and again. So not only did he fail on the House floor, it was also dropped altogether in a secret ballot. If he's the most popular Republican elected in America, I'm not sure that I ever want to be defined as popular. So the former All-American wrestler saw his ambitions pinned under a slew of accusations that some of his supporters made physical threats against Republican members who did not support his bid. In fact, on the 3-floor votes, Jordan lost more support each time. And you've heard Leland say it, right? Never underestimate a Republican's ability to screw things up. And a party that holds the majority of seats in the House is now day 17 without a speaker in a time of turmoil. So will next week be better? Joining me now, Scott Tranter, Director of Data Science for Decision Desk HQ and Democratic strategist, LA Times contributor and former House GOP Oversight Committee advisor, Kurt Bardella. Two perfect people to talk to, and I do want to get some of your predictions, but first and foremost, I do want to start with you, Scott. I want to ask you, when we talk about getting the pulse of Americans, when we talk about polling, and I know that this is your love language, I can't imagine that any of this is sitting well with the average American.
Yeah, no, the average American already has a low opinion of Congress. Republican, Democrat, Independent, they have a low opinion of Congress. When you look inside the party, I know Matt Gaetz was showing a poll that the majority of Republicans wanted to see McCarthy out, but there's been other polls that come out that show McCarthy certainly had support. And he was able to fundraise, which was very important to support the caucus. By and large, the average American thinks this is a disaster, has thought Congress has been a disaster for a while. Inside the Republican Party, they're just concerned that they're not going to get what they want, either on the Israeli funding, Ukrainian funding, budget around the CR, all those different things. I think if you don't see a speaker by next week, you're going to see even worse things being called into Congress, or certainly on the opinion side.
You know, Kurt, I think I know what you might say. I think that as a Democratic strategist, this may see, maybe slightly appealing to you, especially a lot of Democrats like to see the Republicans squirm a little bit. But this is a person who we saw Trump supporters, but then we saw a lot of the rhetoric really shift. And where did all this negativity come within the party? When we talk about these death threats, and we've all heard the voicemails, it's pretty abhorrent.
Yeah, I mean, there should be no place in any of our political discussions where that type of vitriol, hate, threats is acceptable to anybody on the left or the right. And I think that some of the Republican colleagues who are subjected to that, and some of their spouses who are subjected to that, well, maybe the next time you hear someone like Donald Trump make fun of an attack against a Paul Pelosi, for example, maybe that will give you pause rather than laughing at it, which a lot of Republicans have done in the past. This is very real and very, very scary. And when you are having people threaten violence against you or your loved ones because they don't like a political outcome, well, that's terrorism. That's domestic terrorism. And that's not okay. And anybody who thinks that it's okay to express yourself that way because you don't like how a member of Congress is voting for Speaker of the House, you're part of the problem that's tearing the fabric of this country apart. That is not anything that anybody, I don't care where you sit on the ideological spectrum, should be okay with.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And it feels like Groundhog Day, which at first, we may snicker a little bit and, there's a plan in place, right? There's no plan in place. And the stakes are so high. Scott, and both of you have been a part of the House. You've seen the inner workings. Who is the dark horse? Who are we going to see? There's so many names getting thrown around. I mean, I saw it this afternoon, and my eyes started to cross, and I started to count. And I'm like, are we up to 7? Who is it? Who is going to take the helm?
Yeah, well, I'll take it first. Look, this is a name that's not you've heard a lot of, but I've heard that Virginia Foxx, already a committee chair, already well-respected, both on the moderate side and on the conservative side. She was the one who moved to remove Liz Cheney from the chamber. She has a top-tier communication staff, leadership staff. you might see someone like that who's well-respected, been in Congress for a long time, emerge as a caretaker or someone to get them through the next year. I'd look for someone like a Virginia Fox.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.